Page 88, Battle Hymn of the Republic. Very well-known tune here in the United States. And I will say that I'm not crazy about this arrangement. I think it's got some real problems, or going to introduce some problems. So I'll just talk about the problems, since that's what I like to do, don't you know? It is for 3 parts. You got part 1, 2, and 3. Parts 1 and 2 are for an instrument that is concert-keyed instrument. You know, that a B flat is a B flat. You're talking like an oboe or a violin or something, where when they see that note and they play an F, like at the beginning, they play an F on their instrument, it's an F on the piano. Same thing. So all the key signatures are the same, is what I'm saying. 4/4 time, and part 1 has the pickup beat. It's the melody. You've heard it before, I'm sure. So I'm assuming that maybe you're going to do the piano part and 2 other people are doing the other parts. Well, even though you're just doing your part, you got to know their parts, sort of, at least well enough to be able to follow along, because their music may not have all the parts in it. Usually their music only has their part in it. That's all they see. You get to see the whole thing and how it lines up and how things work together, so you can keep everybody together. Good luck. Or maybe they have a conductor and it does it too. I don't know. So just play all 3 parts here. And the chorus is measure 9. We'll talk about the retard later. I just want to hear what that part is. Does it have any surprises in it? Anything going on? Apparently not. It's straightforward. Then I want to do the same with the second part here. Rest. I don't use the fingering they have, because I like in the 3rd full measure, I do that. Here, they got thumb, and that's fine. You can use thumb. I just don't like to. Going on measure 5. And then the, measure 7? I do a 4, 2, 3, and then a 1. I change hand positions on the repeated Fs. And then hold that down as you do that. Rest. And then 1, 2, 3. And the next last measure is the same fingering as I used to measure 7. And that's part 2. Well, let's see what the piano part is, because they're leaving the piano part out. So it's here. I'm giving you the name of the chords by the staff. And some of the staves are empty. If they wanted you to rest, they would have put in whole rests in those measures. The fact that they're empty is telling me they want you to improvise something. Generally, you're just going to use the same pattern, rhythmic pattern that you were using in the measure before, but you're going to use the chord that they show you. So at the beginning is B flat, quarter notes. Second measure, same thing. And E flat, just like the 4 chord. Then back to the B flat. Stay with the B flat. Measures 5 and 6. And then measure 7, they give you the notes. Then measure 9, I'm assuming that it's just like it was the same pattern as the beginning. But in B flat. You're still in B flat. You stay with a chord until they give you something else. So in measure 8, you were in B flat. So measure 9, you're going to be in B flat. E flat. last measure, it is a C minor with an E flat on the bottom. You see the chord symbols in the next to the last measure. We'll take a look at the chord symbols in measure 7. C minor with E flat on the bottom, B flat major with an F on the bottom, and F7, B flat. Just play measure 7 over there at the end here. Yeah, those are sort of the parts. Now we got to see how they fit together and the problem that I'm concerned about, why I don't like this arrangement. This particular piece, not this arrangement, the battle hymn though, is in a lot of piano method books. It's a popular piece. It's a happy piece. It's yeah, we're going off to war to die or something. I'm not sure. But it has that dotted rhythm throughout. Now you have to be careful on dotted rhythms because if you're not exact, 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E. If that short note isn't short, it turns into a triplet and it starts to rock. Da-dee-da. That's rocking. Ba-dee-da-dee-da. That's triplet. Triplet, triplet, triplet. Ba-da-da-da. Triplet, triplet. Well, in the second part, they've mixed them. They got part dotted rhythm and part triplet. That would tend to encourage the top part to play triplets. They would want to do to match it. And I'm pretty sure that's not what they want. They want the difference. They want dotted rhythm and the triplet both. Because the first beat in here, so I would play a short one. 1 E and a 1 E and a triplet. And this is in contrast to the, so I would tell, if I were doing this, and I had an ensemble doing this, I would tell that first part, make sure those short notes are short. We want them crisp. Keep it crisp through the whole thing. The second part, you're both crisp and then you're doing that sort of thing. And that's how I would do it. I would not tell them, well, make them all triplets because we got triplets here. I'm sure some people would interpret it that way, but in my opinion, that's not what was really wanted. I'd have to ask the person who arranged this. It's kind of dangerous putting triplets in like this on a dotted rhythm like this, unless you want to encourage triplets everywhere. Now, another adjustment we have to make is the second part. You see there's a note above that staff to play that an octave higher because the melody's here. So we don't want the second part to be here too. It's got to get out of the way. So they're going to come up here. You're just going to transpose that part up here. So the piano part is here. They don't give you a lot. In my opinion, if you wanted to do a little more with the piano part, you could, but you got to stay out of the way of the two top parts. That's what this arrangement seems to be about, is those two parts, like a duet between those two parts, a melody and a counter melody, and you're just providing the harmony support underneath. So when it comes to the dynamics, all three parts are not going to be mezzo forte. The top two parts might be mezzo forte because it's the melody and counter melody. It's like a duet. The piano part needs to be mezzo piano or such. Stay out of the way. You need to hear. And I would not use pedal on this because this is a march. Bum. And I don't want to smooth against that bum, bum, bum. I want to crisp. Separate these notes. You have to separate them. Now on measure 7 here, because this part is smoother, look at the top two parts. Measure 7, or pick up to measure 7, you're here. Here, you're smoothing. This is in contrast to bum, this smooth. Well, in that case, you can pedal that measure for the piano part here. just change it with each chord harmony. Here, change, 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 and lift up for the rest. It's in contrast to the sharp, crispy part. This is smooth. Same thing at the end. Now at the end with this retardando on here, all three parts have to do it, of course, so you stay together. And this is where rehearsals come in, because you gotta all do it exactly the same. It has to be the same amount of slow enough. Here. Here, and then the piano part. If you don't have a conductor to kind of help you with this, I found the safest thing to do is let the part with the most notes control the retardando, and the other parts stay with them. So in this case, it's the second part, the triplet. So just let the second part take this, follow, and just however slow they're going with the triplets, that tells you when to play the last beat. So let the second part do it. Assuming the second part's willing to do that. If not, then you got to figure something else out, in which case it would be the melody. That's harder to do because all you're doing is playing quarter notes. And when the second part gets to the triplets, they don't know how fast to play the triplets. Unless they play at the same speed you've been doing. But you want to keep slowing down until you hit the last measure. Now once you hit the last measure, in theory it'd be okay, except you got more chord. And those are going to be slow because you slowed down. So here. So you're slowing down, so now this part is also slower. And because you got to go do it. It might be safer in that case, is you're slowing down in the next to the last measure, and when you hit that last measure, keep the same speed that you slowed down to. Don't slow down anymore, just keep the, however these triplets are going, that speed, keep that speed. But throughout, that's the safest because the piano has to keep the same rhythm too. It's my impression of it. I mean, it's like the tempo, slow march tempo. It's because y'all got to agree on the tempo. The first part brings you in, assuming you know what the tempo is. You might go 1, ready, go. Once you've established that, it's just a nice slow march tempo, whatever that is. It's not a set speed, you feel it. This helps to keep this different from this. The rhythm, it helps to bring out the different rhythms, contrasting rhythms at the same time. That's kind of nice, I guess, if you can do it. The tendency is going to be you're going to want to play the melody as a triplet on that, and it's got to be different. The 16th note, the E flat, comes after the last triplet, and it comes after that. Here, here. It comes after the last triplet, not with it. And that'll be the challenge if you do it that way.